Kristy, we've had a number of Chinese developers, including Evergrande, collapse over the last 2 years. But why is the potential default of Country Garden different?
Right. So first of all, Country Garden has over 3,000 projects, and that's already 4 times Evergrande's number of projects. So if there are issues with unfinished homes, it's just a bigger headache for local governments to deal with. Secondly, I think the nature of the two events are very different. When Evergrande went bust, the central bank can still call it an isolated event. It's because of its own poor management and reckless expansion. But for Country Garden, it's tell you that something's fundamentally wrong in China's housing market, and that's pushing even formerly healthy developers to the brink of default.
Do you think Country Garden is too big to fail, and will the Chinese authorities come to the rescue with a bailout plan?
To me, it's too big to fail, and because I've talked about how it's the largest developer by sales in the past 6 years, and a debt crisis is going to put completions of its 3,000 projects at risk. But that being said, we don't think Country Garden can count on a bailout by the government, because since mid-2021, since Evergrande's debacle, the government has stopped short of rescuing the liquidity of individual developers, and Country Garden could be no exception. The government's priority is to complete the pre-sold homes to ensure the livelihood of people, but not to prevent corporate defaults.
Chinese consumers are already feeling strapped, and this is coming against a backdrop of almost a cascade of problems. You've got deflation, you've got youth unemployment. So talk a little bit about how the impact in the housing market is dovetailing into all those other factors.
Right, I think first of all is, China property is, say, 20-25% of China's GDP.
That's a lot.
It's a pillar industry. So if it has a big problem facing like Country Garden's event that we're looking at right now, it's going to weigh on sentiment on the overall economy.
I think more importantly is we don't have other big developers left after Country Garden. We have a bunch of niche developers, and then we have some SOEs and a couple of investment-grade developers. So if Country Garden defaults, it will be probably mark kind of the end of China property era since 2008.